Hi, Lorna.
So you're going to start off with Aujourd'hui en France, Le Parisien, our local paper.
Le Parisien aujourd'hui en France, which translates into English as Today in France. There, the headline, La cagnotte cachée de la République, which translates as the hidden kitty of the French Republic. And that's to do with the sum of money, a reserve fund of 150 million euros, which are shared between MPs and senators over the year. Now, the investigation here for Le Parisien is that the spoils are not being divided fairly. There's an unfair balance towards the right wing, which was in power up to May and June of this year. Now, it focuses on several individual cases, the politicians in France who are getting the biggest slice of the pie in this reserve fund. Now, this fund does not go into individual pockets directly. It goes into an area which the politicians can basically choose for themselves to move the money to help various projects, all kind of random projects, from cycling schemes to fixing a cemetery wall. It depends. The five leading politicians there with the most sums are not... there's no kind of grey area about them. But in the coverage today in Aujourd'hui en France, there is mention of one senator in the east of the country in the Moselle region, and he has actually faced complaints. It's alleged that he subsidised his own small team of political advisors to the tune of 60,000 euros. Now, of course, this is all a big issue, isn't it? And not just in France, about what MPs and senators do with dosh. And the cartoon kind of points a finger at the other big story of the week about Gérard Depardieu hopping over to Belgium to get tax residency. And there you can see Joe Dupont looking at a politician, and the politician saying, listen, don't bug me about this kitty or I will be off to Belgium, along with Gérard Depardieu.
Now, another main story this Friday in the French press is in the Catholic daily La Croix.
Well, this is leading on a letter, an open letter to the French President, François Hollande, by the families of victims of French monks killed in Tiberine in Algeria in 1996. Now, an investigation is underway into those killings and has been so for a long time now. This is a huge story in France. It concerns a horrific incident in which the 7 monks, were decapitated. Now, it's engraved on the national memory. There's no underestimating the impact of this story. It's headline news now because François Hollande makes his first trip to Algeria as president on Wednesday and Thursday. The families of the victims are saying, we want the judge in charge of this case to go to Algeria. We want the investigation speeded up. We want things done. Now, what's happened there, we can see the tombs of the monks in Algeria. Now, what's happened is that during much of the investigation, the Algerian government was saying, no, the Islamists did this, they were responsible. Then it emerged at some point that possibly the Algerian army could have carried out these killings through some error on their part, and they actually carried out the decapitations as part of a cover-up. There are lots of grey areas and unanswered questions, and La Croix is covering this in full, saying that there seems to be a lack of cooperation from Algeria and a lack of movement on the part of the French government. So a big story there.
Now, you mentioned earlier that move by Gérard Depardieu, a famous French actor, over the border to Belgium as a tax exile. It's been one of the big stories of the week here in France. And Le Figaro is still looking at it this Friday.
It is indeed. It's been a big story in the French papers every day because Gérard Depardieu is a national icon. He's world famous, of course, for a huge raft of art house movies, isn't he? But he's better known perhaps in France for his role in the Asterix films, actually, currently. He's a huge bloke, gone off to Belgium, and there in Le Figaro, they're looking at the inside of his flat, which is now on sale in the left bank, the 6th arrondissement. I wouldn't mind it myself. 50 million euros is the rumoured price.
Wow.
1,800 square metres, I worked out that was actually about 50 times more than my own pad here in Paris. I don't know how. Look, it's got Depardieu's taste there is thrown in. Looks very nice. You can actually get a pool for that. Obviously, are you going to be buying?
Oh, I'd love to, but yes, I think Francois Cat might have to pay me a little bit more first.
What does he do? Does he skate around the pad? I don't know. It's like massive.
You could put an ice rink in there, along with the one in the Grand Palais. It's beautiful, though, isn't it, as well? Lots of nice flashy statues and everything. Never mind, not you and me, Nicholas, but I'm sure somebody will snap that up. Thank you very much indeed for that look at today's newspapers. Well, let's get a reminder now of our top stories this